Hey guys, hey, we welcome you. We're just going to we would say round table, but we don't have a table here. So we're just going to kind of have an open discussion, huh? Did you say loud?
No.
So we're just going to kind of have a open discussion and talk a little bit about the coronavirus, COVID-19, and kind of how we're all unpackaging this in our own life. For example, I was at Walmart yesterday picking up the El Paso sauce. Enchilada sauce, right? And so I made sure to have my little mask on, and I was like only 1 out of 20 that had that mask on. But hey, that's something that's a little different. I felt very uncomfortable. Yes, I believe in living by faith, standing on the Word, but hey, balancing this also with good practices that has been suggested locally by different governments and so forth. Hey, we're trying to do that. So I just want to talk to everybody. So to my right is Jason and Neva Paul, and they have been here for a long time in this church, even before Tamara and I got here. And then my son Brandon and our daughter-in-law, who we consider to be our daughter as well, Brandon and Morgan Thomas. Her last name perished from before she married Brandon. And then my better three-quarters, Tamara. So guys, yeah, I just kind of want to open it up and just kind of talk about, how are you guys dealing with this? Let me just ask you this, particularly like if you have kids or something, is it driving you crazy being at home all the time, right? I mean, are you going stir crazy yet?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Leanna to go back to school next year. It's going to be a long summer, I think. But with the weather warming up, though, it does help. Those few days that we had this past week, being outside, running, doing all that, it helped.
Yeah. And now, Neva, you work out of the house. Jason has had to start working out of the house as well. So I want to pry a little bit here, right? Because my wife, she loves me, but I know she can handle me for certain lengths of time. She said short length. I thought longer than short. I wouldn't say that. But you know what? So what does that look like in your home, both of you working out of the same place?
Well, I stay in my office, and yes, I'll say my office. And he has set up a makeshift office in the basement. So that's nice.
It's not bad. I can go in the basement. I've got my own TV. I'm kind of away from her. Hey, I've got a conference call. I got to go down here and work on this, but I'm actually goofing off. So if my boss is watching, though, I'm not goofing off. I am working off. So.
And Jason has grown a beard, right? So, or I should say, growing a beard.
Hey, come on now.
Okay. So, all right. So that's been. And how's Leanna dealt with this?
I think Leanna's, the first couple of weeks she was, excited. It's something new. It's fun that she's at home. Whenever we found out that she's not going to be returning to school for the year, she was really sad. She was, missing her teachers.
We all had tears that day. Actual tears.
So that was kind of like Tamara and I, we sent the kids away for college. We cried. Right, and then we cried when they came back home. Yeah. No offense, okay. I shouldn't have said that in front of them, did I? It made me cry. All right, Brandon Morgan. So how's it kind of changed your guys' life? Because Brandon's still working at your place where you do logistics work. And by the way, we've got a banker and a RN, a school teacher with Morgan, and a logistics manager with Brandon, transportation manager. So how has your life changed with the COVID-19?
I would say that my life has really changed. Obviously, it's not as crazy. I am currently teaching online, which is very different. A lot of people have asked me if it's been more enjoyable, if it's been easier, if it's been harder. I would say that in some ways it's been harder. I would say also that the last few months of the year is my favorite parts of the year because I feel like I finally get to see like how hard and how far we've come as a class. Yeah. So it's been really hard on all teachers. I know it's not enjoyable for us. It's been really sad to not see our kids and watch that final piece, like see what they've become after this whole year of hard work. So that's been really hard on me and not seeing them every day. So that part's been hard. As for Brandon working and me staying at home, I've been going crazy.
Yeah.
And I haven't had anybody to talk to. So in some ways, it's probably bad having a full house, but in other ways, it's awful having an empty house and only the dogs to talk to.
I said you have your dogs.
And that's it. And so I've done everything you can possibly think of.
And even your workout schedule's changed, right? You can't go to Planet Fitness every morning because you would get up working like at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Whew.
So I don't know how I did it now. Like, I've been sleeping in, my schedule is so different. So looking back, I don't know how I got up and worked out and went to school for a full day because I'm tired and I haven't done anything all day. So I don't know how I'm going to do it next year.
It's going to be tough getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you, Brandon?
Well, I guess in the transportation world, it's been pretty crazy. Actually, we've been even busier than ever because we, in my position, we haul a lot of wheat and flour for different companies, and that's what all the people are going for right now in Kroger and Walmart. So, yeah, I mean the drivers are kind of freaking out, the employees, but one thing we're taking really good precaution. We're making our own hand sanitizer since there isn't a lot of resource for that right now, so we've kind of learned.
You and I,
Yeah.
Brandon and I had been kind of, and you don't know this probably about me, but now Jason is also in the same boat with us, but been kind of germaphobes, right? So that
Yes,
means like, hey, you're in a
definitely.
hotel room, right? You're getting out of the shower. You don't want to put your feet on the floor.
Yep.
You want to have something to put on your feet. So we kind of go through that. Brandon and I, we go before COVID-19, where we're going to Walmart or something. We have long sleeves on. We're pulling the sleeve down, grabbing the handle, those kinds of things. So has this freaked you out at all?
Honestly, I just do the same thing that I've normally done. People are just doing what I do now. So,
See, everybody's changed the way
yeah.
we've been doing things. Okay.
Yeah, they're following our footsteps, so it's great, But yeah, everything's good. We probably have over 100 employees that end up, with drivers, employees, and people at the mill working, probably over 100 people, and nobody's even gotten it yet. And we're kind of by the Marion area in Indiana, which is kind of the hot spot right now. But yeah, thankfully, nothing has been going on, so we're just trusting God. And yeah, so just keep doing what we're doing, make our hand sanitizer, and, clean out the trucks when they're done with it, and repeat.
Yeah, I think, Brandon, that was a good takeaway. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna sanitize. We're gonna follow all, but at the same time, we're gonna trust the Lord. So Mark Battison, you've heard me say this before. You do everything that you know to do as though it depends upon you, but then you trust God and you pray and you use your faith as though it all depends upon Him. Okay? All right, sweetheart. So before you talk, so here's one thing. We're okay today, but here's one of the things I know is going to happen. So because women cannot go to the hairdresser, so guys, we're going to start having some issues around the ears, right? Some of us may let our beard grow, but we're also going to start seeing some
Outward signs.
some different colors, kind of. Anyway,
I've been stressing about that.
You've been stressing about that, right?
It's okay. It's all going to be just
So
fine.
others is, I don't want to get the coronavirus. I don't want this. Oh God. Oh Lord, don't let my hair change.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. All right,
This
go
was
ahead.
the worst part. I've been very fortunate. I've kind of retired, so I've been able to spend a lot of time really in prayer and just kind of spending time with the Lord. So for me personally, I've kind of enjoyed it. Our kids are gone. They're gone, and I know they're fine, and everything's good with them. So I've just kind of been waiting until you get home to cook.
Yeah.
Kind of have a little fun, baking,
Okay. All right.
stuff like that.
So as we're just a couple more minutes on this. So I want us to let's kind of break it down, right? So I know we're in a church building and so forth, but let's be honest about this. We've all had concerns. We've all had fears. We can't sit here and go, well, we go to a spirit-filled church and we're full of God's power, and so therefore I have no anxieties and that never happens to me. Every night I sleep great, because that may not be the case. So what has kind of frightened you? What has caused anxiety in your life during this time?
I think for me, the biggest fear is just I'm the one kind of going out right now. We're trying to make sure just one person goes to the grocery store and things like that. And just the concern of, do I bring something back not only for, Neva or I, but also for Leanna, something like that, and just kind of thinking about her going through this. So, having the child kind of amplifies that. I can go through a lot of stuff myself, but I don't want her to have to go through, anything as well.
Leanna, is she
7?
7 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so you know, adorable, it's their only child, and so she is it on both sides of the family, right? So yeah, they are very protective over Leanna. We all are as a church. We're protective over that little girl. She's like the church baby, yeah. So, yeah.
So I think that's my biggest thing is, just the concern of, is she going to have to go through something,
Okay.
with all of this. We can go through a lot on ourselves. But.
Yeah.
It's your child.
Anybody
What
else?
about you guys?
Yeah, I would have to second Jason on that. Definitely the worry of, just seeing people that are close to you getting sick and stuff, especially people like my parents that are really old.
Watch
You want to
it.
make sure, like, if they get something like that, they may be gone. So that's probably my biggest worry,
So that's him pushing back on us on the comments about us crying when they came back on. All right?
That's okay, we can handle it.
Got them.
What's kind of different too is, used to we would go to the grocery store. I know Morgan and I were talking about this. You'd go to the grocery store, you kind of view it as an event. Oh, well, look at this, look at the ingredients, all that kind of stuff. And now instead of looking at the things that are in the store, you're looking at the people that are walking by. And you're wondering who was on that road before, if there's anything in the air or if there's anything that you touch. So it's a whole different experience now than it used to be.
All right,
Yeah.
so the last thing, and we'll talk about anything else that you have, but what are you doing to counter that? Within your life, within your family, what are you doing to make yourself feel more comfortable, right? Physically, what are you doing, right? Whether it's washing hands, but then also, how are you using your faith during this time? Okay? How are you using your faith to combat this? Because this truly, if you think about it, there's a movie that came out called Invisible Man. I have not seen it yet. I don't want to pay the $20 on Netflix. No, nothing against Netflix. You don't send me any royalties till you do. Okay, this is the way it
I don't
is.
think that's an appropriate movie.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
I don't think so.
My wife said it's
We're
not an
not gonna
appropriate
be seeing
movie.
that.
So we're not going to be seeing Invisible Man. Don't write me letters and keep the finances coming in. Okay.
There was one
But,
about 30
yeah.
years ago.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. So, but
think.
my whole
Not sure I
point
saw that.
isn't to condone or to watch or not watch the movie. My point was that
making sure.
it's an invisible. And COVID-19 is something that is invisible. As we go to a Walmart or wherever it is that we're going, we don't know who possibly has the disease or the virus, right? We're being wrung out. We're going to a counter and we're touching buttons that we don't know the person that just came from that. Do they have that? Right? Have they contracted that? And maybe they don't want to know. So we're fighting an invisible enemy, but for the church, this is not new for us. Because the Apostle Paul said in the book of Ephesians, he says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and spiritual weaknesses in high places and everything that exalted itself against God. So we've been fighting against the invisible for a long, long time. Okay? So I'm just curious.
I was going to say, one of the things that I do,
Yeah.
I know we passed out Psalms 91.
Yeah.
That's really good. God, my refuge, and all that. I confess that over us. I confess it
has
over the
pestilence
family.
in there too, right?
That's pestilence.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I do is I believe that the resurrection power that's on the inside of me is stronger and it's greater than anything that would try to come into me.
Okay.
So I just trust God that resurrection power, the life that's in me, would not allow any of that to be a part of me or be in me.
But you do that, you confess the word, but at
Absolutely.
the same time you're using the sanitizer.
Oh, absolutely.
You're practicing the
Oh, yeah.
social distancing and so forth,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Pastor, I would just kind of say, I'm trying to protect the amount of stuff that comes inside me. You got to watch the news to get updates and things like that every day, but there's so much negativity that can be out there that it can almost overwhelm you.
Yeah.
So just try to limit that and, counterbalance it with some extra time in prayer, some
Yeah.
extra time, reading the Word,
Yeah.
things like that. Just kind of keeping that balance there because it's easy right now just get caught up in all the negativity that's out there, and there's
Yeah.
a lot that's out there. But we got to balance that because there's good out there right now as well.
So with that, and so here we're preaching mostly here to adults. even this conversation. So I would just encourage you folks that have kids, you need to have these conversations, these Sunday morning type conversations with your kids, right? Sign on to Right Now Media that we give to you free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything. You can write us. You can call me again, 317-523-9014. We'll get that information to you. Tons of information for your kids there. But it just kind of came to me when Jason said that. Let's not forget about, and we haven't forgot about the kids. Neva that helps with our kids' church. But I'm just talking about as parents in your own home, to make sure to keep them in the know concerning the Lord and so forth in fighting against this. Okay, anybody else?
Just kind of bouncing off of what you said, I was just going to say, like, there is so much negativity that I think that it's really important that you do find what is positive in your life and what makes you happy, including staying in prayer and stuff. But if you really look, there's been communities that have come together and that are stronger than ever before. There are people that have been giving and donating and putting their lives on the line too, so we can't forget all those people that are on the front lines and working hard to make sure that we can end this sooner. So I'm really appreciative of everybody that is putting their life on, hold and stuff. So you have to look at the positives, because there's been so many, even as a teacher standpoint, there's been so many companies that have came in for kids at this point that have given free subscriptions, and that's really helped us out from a teacher standpoint. So I just pray that we're all finding ways to stay positive and continue to do the good so that others can see it.
Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Listen. Hey, we hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much, and we may see you again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.